What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 70 and we start today's episode off with our Europa League semi-final first leg game here away in Germany to take on Bayer Leverkusen. And it's just been an awesome run, hasn't it? I mean, we came into this Europa League tournament the first time in our Career Mode series where we'd have European football, and you know, 3 games into our group, you know, in the Europa League, we were looking like we were going to get knocked out. You know, we didn't even look like we were going to qualify from our group. And here we are in the semi-finals, you know, knocking out teams like Inter Milan and Valencia, and of course before that Athletic Bilbao. So it's been an awesome stint in Europe for us. And no matter what happens, I know I've said I'm desperate for us to win this tournament and go all the way, but no matter what happens, even if we do get knocked out in the semi-finals, I'm not going to be disappointed because we came so far. We've achieved our objective, which of course I bumped it up to be getting to the semi-finals. The board initially said get to the quarter-finals, but I decided to bump it up to the semi-finals. We've achieved our objective, and you know, so if we go out here, there's pride from the team, and we'll be perfectly happy with our performance this year in the Europa League, and hopefully go better next year. But anyway, the first chance of the first leg did come in the 27th minute. It came to Bayer Leverkusen. Bender chipped the ball over the top, and it was put in by Lasoggia, is that how you pronounce that? Who came through and gave Bayer Leverkusen the lead. So just 27 minutes in, the German side were in front, and we were behind. Not good news for us to concede with you know the first real attack from the opposition. To concede, it was really poor. It was a good finish. The ball over the top was quite simple though, and I probably should have dealt with it, but we didn't, and it was 1-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. But straight from kickoff, he gives the ball to Leon Trotter, who finds Lee Catamol. He pokes it forward to Danny Ings. Ings finds Trotter. Trotter plays it back to Michael and Gu runs forward here, goes through 1-on-1, rounds the goalkeeper, gets taken out, and the referee gives a penalty. So straight from kickoff, we keep hold of the ball, go through 1-on-1, and Leno in goal for Bayer Leverkusen takes down Michael and Gu, and means that we do get a penalty here as well. It was very debatable penalty decision, because I didn't actually see any contact between Ngu and the goalkeeper, but the referee gave it. Brian Carrasco stepped up for us here, the Chilean winger that's been with us since episode 1. Could Brian Carrasco stand up and score for us? Yes, he could. What a penalty, right into the top corner. The goalkeeper dives the right way, but he can't redeem himself. It's a wonderful penalty by Carrasco. He brings out the backflip celebration, and it was an absolutely awesome penalty as well. It really was, right into the top corner by Carrasco, and yeah, that made it 1-1. So an instant reply, really, you know, straight from going behind, we go up the other end of the pitch, win ourselves a penalty, and go ahead and convert that penalty as well. And I was glad too, because I probably should have shot with Michael and Gu, but I didn't feel confident on his left side. That's why I tried to round the keeper, and clearly it worked for us. So I was very happy there. So 1-1 here. Carrasco gets the goal. And that puts us back on level terms, and of course gives us a crucial away goal here in the Europa League. And the following chance came just a few minutes after that. Fabricio finds Jack Robinson, our left back on loan from Liverpool. He ball rolls past his man before finding Michael and Gu. He gives it to Kelvin. Kelvin with a fake Rabona, then the whacker. Goes down the left hand side here, crosses the ball in towards Danny Ings with the header. Great save by Leno, and Ngu couldn't get his feet sorted, and Leverkusen managed to get the ball away. So still 1-1 here, but we could have easily made it 2-1. But from that, Leverkusen keep hold of the ball, give it straight to Michael and Gu shoots, but it just goes over the bar. So it would have been a great goal by Michael and Gu, but it's still 1-1. And we couldn't make it 2-1 in this game. But on the stroke of half-time here in the 45th minute, Lee Catamol intercepts his man down the left-hand side, chips the ball over the top towards Michael and Gu runs clear, chips the goalkeeper, but again, Leno makes a really good save. So Gu was causing a lot of threats, but he just wasn't taking the chances, but it was still 1-1. And from the corner, I gave the ball to Kelvin, wasn't going to let Gu take it. Kelvin crossed the ball in towards Michael and Gu, and his header goes just wide of the post, and that signalled the end of the first half. So a half where Michael and Gu was really beginning to threatened by Leverkusen, and they must have been wary of that, because we were putting everything through him, and he was playing really well. Just didn't put the ball in the back of the net in that half, but still 1-1. You have to say we were the better team as well, and we did have that crucial away goal. So 1-1 at half time, and in the 57th minute here, another good chance for us. Carrasco picks the ball up here, the goal scorer, body feints around his man before finding Michael and Gu, fake shots around his man himself, plays the ball out wide to Kelvin. Kelvin goes down left hand side, nice little ball spin, then the fake Rabona, then plays it to Jack Robinson, who crosses the ball in, but but Carrasco's header goes straight into the hands of Leno. So good teamwork there. We just couldn't find that second goal. But in the 77th minute, how about this? Stanislas plays the ball back to McCarthy here. Fake shots past no one. Tries to get the ball to Fabricio, and Fabricio just runs away. It means there's a 3-on-1 opportunity for Leverkusen. They put the ball in the back of the net, but thankfully the linesman has his flag up, and thank God for that, because Fabricio just left the ball and just walked away from it. That was really frustrating, but thankfully my blushes were saved because the offside flag was up and it was still 1-1. And in injury time, the last chance fell to us. Lee Cattermole, what a challenge on Bender, wins the ball back for us, then plays a great through ball to Michael and Gu down the left hand side, stops the ball here, gets onto his right foot, crosses the ball in, and Danny Ings with the bicycle kick blazes the ball into the stands. What a fantastic goal that would have been with the last kick of the game, but unfortunately it did go over the bar. But the game did finish Leverkusen 1, Millwall 1, so I mean, I'm happy with that. I'm actually really happy with that. We got ourselves a crucial away goal, and you know, we were the better side as well. Of course, there was a moment towards the end where Leverkusen could have took advantage of my mistake, but thankfully they didn't. The offside flag was up, but I'm still happy with that. A very good result against a very decent German side. I wouldn't say we got 1 foot in the final, but you know, we've certainly got the upper hand going into the reverse fixture at the end. So you know, touch wood, we can win that, and we can progress to the Europa League final. But the following game was going to be against Hull City here in the Barclays Premier League, and of course with the season being closed out now in the league, I really don't care too much. We can't finish in the top 4, or let's face it, we won't finish in the top 4, I should just say that anyway. And we've had a really good season. We're pretty much, I would say we're guaranteed to finish in the top 10, to be honest. So I can't see Southampton with 37 points catching up to us, and any of the teams below them. So we're guaranteed to finish in the top 10, top half of the table, and the board will be happy with us regardless of what happens at the end of the season. So with that in mind, we do rest the entire side because, you know, why not? Basically, we're guaranteed to be in the top 10, which is what the board wanted, and the Europa League is more important. But the first goal actually came to us in the 3rd minute. Hull City, the master of their own downfall, they give the ball away. Ben Foster then comes for the ball and then retreats. It was absolutely ridiculous. Poor goalkeeping by the English goalkeeper there. It was absolutely ridiculous. You see, he goes for the ball. He's surely odds-on favourite to win it. Then he starts retreating, and Stanislas plays it back to Dongu, who finds the back of the net. So 1-0 to us here at the KC Stadium. Poor from Ben Foster and Hull City in general, but 1-0 to us. And in the 70th minute, Malone wins the ball here, goes down the centre, finds Dongu, plays it back to him, and I decide to let fly with Malone, and what a superb goal that is. That is absolutely superb from my left back. His long shot stats aren't amazing or anything, but that is just a wonderful, wonderful strike. I just thought I was in space and I decided to have a go, and you know, we were 1-0 up anyway. It was only 17 minutes on the clock, and it was an absolutely superb strike as well. I know long shots are a bit easier to score this year, I do know that, but even so, it did look very, very nice. No chance for Ben Foster, and I think that brings up Scott Malone's 2nd goal of the season and his 1st in the Barclays Premier League. So next season, Jack Robinson is hopefully going to be signed on a permanent deal. He will of course be our first choice left back, and you know, we've got Shane Ferguson who can play left back in as well. Malone's position at the club may be under threat, so you know, he's going to need to score those wonder goals if he wants to stay at the club. But good goal by Malone, and it's Hull City 0, Millwall 2. And just a few minutes after that, Hull City came through themselves. Eventually the ball was played over the top towards Henderson, I think it was, and he found the back of the net. Nyland couldn't keep it out despite getting a touch, and that made it Hull 1, Millwall 2. And in the 38th minute, Huddleston gets onto the ball for Hull, rolls it through. Real good chance for Hull as they come forward here, but Nyland makes a really, really good save. So obviously McCarthy's now our number 1. Nyland's dropped down to the bench, but whenever he plays, he always does seem to do quite well, and that is an absolutely superb save by our Norwegian goalkeeper. And in the 42nd minute here, Hull City come forward once again. Their number 9 was causing us so many problems. He rolls the ball through to Yannick Sagbo, but he puts the ball wide of Nyland's post. Really bad miss by Sagbo there, and it is still 2-1. But disaster struck for us here as well, because from the goal here, I gave the ball to Jack Hobbs, of course a former Hull player, and I wasn't paying attention, and I passed the ball straight into the path of Hull's number 9, who played the ball, his shot was well saved by Nyland, and the follow-up shot went in. But that was poor from me. I wasn't paying attention, and I thought the Hull City attacker was close to Hobbs there. I gave the ball away, and I was made to pay there. So 2-2, he surrendered 2-goal lead. But in the 56th minute here, João Vitor comes forward, but Ben Foster makes up for his, not mistake earlier, but his lack of good decision making in the first half for the first goal. A good save to deny João Vitor. But in the 58th minute here, you see Camiliano win the ball for us. Give the ball to Scott Malone, who scored our 2nd goal. He finds Dongu, who scored our 1st, I do believe. Chips the ball over the top towards Junior Stanislas, goes through 1-on-1, and it's a really good finish by our number 7, who, as I've said, of late has come into really good form, and it's surprising because his stats are good, don't get me wrong, but you know, his position is probably under threat come the start of next season with all our players arriving next year on pre-contracts. But Stanislas does well there to make it 3-2, but he then gets injured in this challenge with the Hull City player. The number 7s collide, and Stanislas gets injured here and he has to leave the field, and this was absolutely hilarious because we bring on Gardner and Zaires for Dongu and oh god, I can't remember now, Dongu and someone, Jalvator. So we bring on the 2 players off the bench, and Stanislas was off the pitch. He had to be taken off the pitch because he was hurt. So the players come off the bench. Stanislas goes onto the side of the pitch, you can see him there. And it was hilarious because Camiliano plays the ball out wide to Scott Malone here. Malone ends up winning a throw-in off Maynor Figueroa. Stanislas wants to get onto the pitch. The referee then waves him on as Malone takes the free kick. Camiliano waits, holds the ball up, then plays it back to Stanislas, who just got onto the pitch, gets onto the ball, goes down the left hand side, he's clearly not playing hurt anymore, crosses the ball to the far post, and it's a first Millwall goal for George Gardner at the far post there, and it was a very lucky goal. But it was Stanislas, it was it was hilarious because he seemed like his game was over when he got taken off the pitch, but then he just comes on the pitch straight after Camiliano picks the ball up, runs down the wing with no injury problems whatsoever, crosses the ball in, and provides the assist for George Gardner. So it's the first Millwall goal for our youth graduate, and I don't think he'll be staying at the club, but that's a moment he'll never forget in his career. And again, it probably shouldn't have been credited to Gardner. I'm sure the dubious goals panel would have taken it off him because that ball was clearly going wide, but it was George Gardner's goal, and that made it 4-2 here. And doesn't George Gardner look like Cisco? Does anyone know who Cisco is? If you do know who Cisco is, then doesn't George Gardner look like Cisco? That's ridiculous, but I think I'm showing my age a little bit here by saying Cisco. I'm sure none of you kids know who he is, but anyway, it's a Hull 2, Millwall 4, and in the 84th minute, what a kick by Nyland, finds Zaires, real good chance for him off the bench, chips the ball to George Gardner, who's already got 1 goal, goes for his second, but what a save by Ben Foster that was, and the cross comes towards Jury, I think it was, but his bicycle kick goes wide. So that would have been a wonderful game to, wonderful goal to cap off the game there with a bicycle kick, but unfortunately, it did go wide and over the bar. So still Hull City 2, Millwall 4, but the game was being closed out, so it didn't matter. We were just, you know, biding our time really until the final whistle. And in injury time, Nyland plays the ball to Scott Malone. Malone chips it forward to Camiliano, who gets past Tom Huddleston down the left-hand side here. Real good chance. He chips the ball forward to George Gardner, who comes through again, but Foster makes the save, and eventually Hull get the ball away. So 4-2 the final score. Great to see George Gardner pick up his first goal in a Millwall shirt. As I said, I don't think he'll be staying there for very long, but even so, very nice to see. And a very good win as well on the back of that 1-1 draw away in Germany against Leverkusen. And as always, guys, big thank you for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, so that's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.